Kamorian Pimpton becomes the latest LSU Tiger to jump into the transfer portal, now bumping up towards 15 players that have entered the transfer portal since LSU and Oklahoma played back a week and a half ago. I've done this a number of times, so we're not going to go through the entire thing again, but it's worth mentioning, and I think that this is going to be, we're trending this way, but I think this is extreme. I do believe this is extreme. That LSU, from the 2022 class that was ranked 5th in the nation, 7 of the top 10 players in that class are already gone after 2 seasons. 17 are gone in total. There were 26 in the class. So you've had 17 players enter the transfer portal. I'm including Trey Holly in there because that's a weird spot because he's not in the transfer portal, but he's not playing football. So 17 have left, 9 have remained. The players that have left: Lance Hurd, who was 5-star, Deshaun Womack, 5-star. Toviano has stayed. That's the highest rated player in their class that's still here. Jalen Brown left last year. Shelton Sampson's in the portal. Jackson Howard's gone. DJ Chester's here. He started for you at center this year. Kamorian Pimpton's gone. Whit Weeks is here. Had an all-conference type level year. But Kylan Jackson is gone. And that's your top 10 with Caleb Jackson, who is a reserve running back for you. The rest of the way, Tyree Adams still here. Ricky Collins is gone. Mac Markway is gone. Trey Holly's not here. Ryan Yates is gone. Kyle Parker's hurt. Kai Prian's gone. Christian Brathwaite's gone. Jeremiah Hughes is gone. Paul Mabenga still here. Jackson McGowan's gone. Michael Doherty's gone. Dylan Carpenter still here. Ashton Stamps is a starter for you. And Connor Gilbreth gone. I just think that's jarring that 7 of the top 10 players in that class. I mean, think about when LSU signed that class, what you personally thought about what Lance Hurd would be, what you thought Deshaun Womack would be, what you thought Jalen Brown and Shelton Sampson as a duo would be, what you thought that Kamorian Pimpton was, and LSU flipped him at the 11th hour with that 6'6" frame. Kylan Jackson, big-time safety. Caleb Jackson, their top 10 running back in the nation. It just hasn't worked out. The most impactful players from that class are a center that had his struggles learning a new position, a linebacker who made a ton of tackles in Whit Weeks, DJ Chester, obviously the center, and then Ashton Stamps, who plays for you at corner. Like, that's, through 2 years, that's been your biggest contribution. That sets your program back. It just does. And I don't know exactly where to nail down 100% of the blame, because that's always what we want to do. It's this person's fault. It's these kids' fault. It's the head coach. Like, everybody's trying to hammer home blame. I'm not really interested in why this happened, but I'm just telling you, when you've got a class in their second year that contributes that little, it is difficult to make up that difference. It is. And I just think that set the program back. Now, you can fix it in the portal. We all know this. But, man, is that a tough thing to sit there and scroll through when you consider how excited we've been over the years on National Signing Day. Now, if this happened 7 years ago, your program would be shot for 2 years. They wouldn't leave in these numbers because you'd have to sit out a year. But, man, if you had a class that produced this little 2 years in, 5-7 years ago, you couldn't recover. Now, LSU's job is to go recover. I wanted to briefly touch on this before we get to the end of the hour as well. It's a total shift. But I'm sitting there last night, and I'm watching Troy Aikman just gush over Joe Burrow's play and how he's his favorite quarterback to watch, and he does things as well or better than anybody in the NFL. And I'm watching Jamar Chase just absolutely eviscerate the Cowboys defense, as he does to just about everybody every week. And yes, it's more sustainable if you create a roster like Alabama did for 15 years or like Georgia has for the last 5, where there just seems to always be the next guy. But we haven't necessarily had that in Baton Rouge. We've had talented rosters. You've had rosters that put guys in the NFL, but there have been holes, and there have been a lot of 8 and 9 win seasons and not a lot of 11, 12 win seasons. For LSU, it's kind of when the stars align that everything shakes out. And to think about the stars that aligned on that roster with Burrow and Chase and Jefferson, and you look at the NFL statistically, and you see Jefferson and Chase as the top 2 wide receivers in the sport, and you look at what they will be here soon, with Jefferson's already signed the massive deal, and Chase is about to get his, and Burrow's already got his, and you look at what we watched here over that course of 4 months, I really believe that I did not take it for granted. I really believe that I enjoyed the excellence and savored it. But it goes by pretty quick. And now we sit here and it's been 5 years. But you're reminded every Sunday when you turn on the TV and Jefferson's just cooking, and Burrow, despite the fact that the team can't win a freaking game, is playing at an MVP level, and Chase is the best wide receiver in the league. I think if you asked 50 NFL fans to name the top 2 wide receivers in the NFL, how many would say Jefferson and Chase? Like 40? More than 40? You've got the 2 best wide receivers on the planet. They were on one team with the guy who's playing quarterback as well as anybody. You want to tell me that Lamar or Josh Allen's playing better than Burrow? I'm not going to argue with you, but Burrow's right there on their level. As far as production, touchdown passes, all that kind of stuff, he's right there. They're not winning games like they should be. But to have those 3 guys, along with the highest paid center in league history, Damian Lewis, who's starting at a guard, Clyde went in the first round. I mean, y'all know. I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know, but I've said this many times in the past as well. Like, I'm just not going to get tired of talking about that. And maybe somebody from Tuscaloosa could come over here and tell me that I was, clinging on to the past and loser mentality. Well, I'm going to Texas Bowl here in a couple of weeks, so I don't have a lot to grapple on with here. I'm just going to remember just how great that was, and you continue to be reminded of it every single Sunday when you turn on the TV. Special group of dudes, and they were on display last night. Shout out to the guy for the Cowboys who tried to pick up a blocked kick like a not very smart dude. Hey, thanks for watching Hunt on LSU. Before you get out of here, do us a couple of favors. Hit that like button, leave your comments below, and subscribe to the channel for all your Fighting Tiger football talk. See you next time.